And then Chris, do I put this one on you?
Yeah, sure.
So why Black Dragon? Why are we here and not somewhere else?
I mean, the food changed my life, but I heard people talking about it. I'm like, oh, this is hype or whatever. I mean, I've had this food before and it's great, but I had never had this kind of fusion before. I mean, you know, Chinese and soul food, like I'd never heard of that before, so I got to try it. And they said, well, you got to try the salmon cheesesteak rolls. Like, I'm like, word? Like
Salmon cheesesteak rolls.
yeah, I mean,
Well, I don't eat any seafood.
Yeah,
But
We took that into account.
yeah, we were told, yeah, but I do, and it changed my life. But the other thing is, this brother has done a lot of good work, working in the criminal justice space, restorative justice, and you know, we need to also lift up black businesses that are locally based, that are community centered, because there's not enough businesses that are building community wealth. We have too many businesses that are about preying on folks, exploiting labor and so forth. And so any opportunity I can to lift up local businesses, particularly black-owned businesses, I do it. So,
yeah.
But I mean, even if it weren't, the food is just that banging. So,
how long has this business been in operation?
Actually going on 2 years in August.
2 years.
Yeah, but the whole concept of the pop-ups I've been doing them for about 12.
Oh,
so I've been
wow.
doing pop-ups,
Okay.
fusion with cuisine throughout the city, other cities and stuff like that.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the story behind like the Black Asian fusion, like
Yeah,
the concept is also
And the
dope,
concept
you know?
is, so this was a former Chinese store. So as you can see, like most of this stuff, this layout was here. We took the bulletproof glass down because, you know, the service in the hood is a bulletproof glass, hurry up by. We actually put counters in, we gave access to a bathroom. So these are like things that when you do go to a regular Chinese store, you don't have those. And we're not saying that as in a way of Asians being discriminative, but being able to come to America, they couldn't get money, they couldn't get loans to open businesses in white neighborhoods.
Right.
Yeah.
So they force you into a black neighborhood. And honestly, outside of living in a Chinese store, you don't see Asians in the community unless they're inside of this, and they usually live upstairs and they work down here. So the concept of the Black Dragon is a lot of the second and third generation Chinese Americans, they're here, they done got the education, they got jobs in tech, some of them may be doctors, lawyers, they're just in a whole other field, so they're not taking the stores on. Just in the Philadelphia area, it's about 600 of these Chinese stores. It's more Chinese stores in the world, in America, than it is McDonald's in the world. So the whole concept of a Chinese store is the second and third generations, they're not taking them on. Right. So it gave her opportunity to come in and serve culturally relevant food to the communities that we serve. So we're gonna bring some food out, got some different dishes, some different twists, and being from Philly, we have a huge Islamic population, so a lot of people don't eat beef, so we came up with something like years ago in the city of Philadelphia where people make cheesesteaks with salmon. So we make salmon cheesesteaks, we got collard green egg rolls, we got a dish called General Roscoe's chicken, like General Tao's chicken. So General Roscoe Robinson was the first black 4-star general in America, and he's from St. Louis, so it's like a St. Louis barbecue sauce style tossed in like the chicken like that. Magnolia beef, we have some Magnolia
I was already
Project
hungry.
beef. So the Magnolia Projects in the Fifth Ward of New Orleans. So we represented that dish. So we do a lot of fusion and twist on words.
Hell yeah.
And it's dope. Like I think, you know, what's so
Making my
exciting-
mouth water.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm like,
That's why I wanted to do it here.
I'm like, damn.
Right?
Okay.
There's a lot of history here.
Okay.
Once you get the spread
Yeah, I'm
out,
about to
y'all
get
can start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to get
Yeah.
it out for y'all.
Yeah. So I know your uncle.
Oh, really?
I just saw him in D.C.
How? So you've been on the Young Turks? Like you're
many
familiar?
years ago.
Okay.
When I was a political blogger. He would have me on the show a few times. Gosh, that was, I don't know, 15.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, let
gonna
me
change your
just
life.
put this down here real quick. Sorry.
So General Roscoe's chicken. And this is my play on sweet and sour chicken. This is sweet potato chicken. So you take the sweet potato, yam, juice it down. Make it
I'm so happy.
This is
I feel like we're gonna have to fall asleep out of it.
No, you're gonna get the itis. Yeah, that's the itis. Yeah.
sweet potato donut.
Oh, dude. Oh,
Oh my God.
I got you.
Thank you. This is.
I wanted it to be meaningful. I didn't want to pick any spot, and this says a lot of, I mean,
Oh, it is.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for black entrepreneurship.
Veggie lo mein.
So I want to, lift up all the folks who are doing the work,
Man, Magnolia Project beef.
I did something with Shoykot the other day in San Francisco, and we made the mistake of going to a Palestinian kitchen. I say mistake because I was uncontrollably just like staring at the food and just like pounding it. So I'm gonna try to hold myself accountable this time. And I'm gonna be a little bit more normal.
Okay, it's salmon. You're not gonna have that. That's
So those are only the salmon cheesesteaks.
No,
these are
salmon,
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, regular.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
We
go.
got more donuts. We got enough
Okay.
donuts to go around for everyone. Some extra plates.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to be transparent. The reason I'm motivated about this opportunity is because my cred with my sons is next level now. Like,
That's what Rashida said too.
no, I'm just saying, like, I don't know how long it will last, but now my sons might actually vote for me. I mean, when they're like, Dad, Hassan Piker. I'm like, hey, you actually returned my phone call. So if that's the only reason, I thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm very excited about this. Thank you. Thank you for having us here today.
Yeah.
All right, when do we dig in?
Yeah, you dig in. And right over this backdrop. Food.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about this.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So this was from a Black Panther rally in Oakland in the 70s, and power to Black people, and then Black power, power to the people, then Black power to Black people, then there's yellow power to yellow people. So it showed a time when Asians, Americans, and Black Americans had solidarity in this country. So when we do expand out doing other Black Dragons, I have several images throughout history of Blacks and Asians having solidarity together. So it's always going to be a mural like that in the next Black Dragon. And the next Black Dragon will be in a former Chinese store as well too.
Yeah. And one of the things I love about it is because I'm always talking about collective liberation, right? So, I can't be free until you're free. And so how we connect, and kind of the through line of my campaign is, our fates are intertwined. So we gotta, lift up all of our stories and see what we have in common. So.
And I think, some local important context on that, right? Especially, there was a recent fight here to push back against an arena in Chinatown.
Yes, I was against that.
And so Chris and I were both opposed to it. And there was a narrative out there that, Black people wanted this arena and that they wanted us to have a new basketball arena. And we felt that it was important to show that the Black community has a history of solidarity with the Asian community, and that we were actually going to come together in solidarity to push back against this thing. And so I think Black Dragon, the work around the arena, all this multiculturalism that you're seeing in the city is a really powerful moment of saying we're not going to have the same division that happened when Asians were blocked out of businesses and ended up in Black communities. And when we were redlined in those same communities, we're actually going to come together and do something beautiful and eat some great food.
And we got to beat the billionaire class too while we did it.
So why did you guys oppose the building of the arena, if you don't mind me asking?
No, of course, because it was displacing a historic community. You're talking about 20,000 people. And Chinatown is so much more than Asian Americans in that space. It attracts people from all over the world. So it's a tourist spot, but also has deep historic roots. And why should we displace these communities for the benefit of 3 billionaires who want to make more money through gentrification and things that did not actually benefit?
And they get tax subsidies as well. I assume it's usually created with tax dollars, right?
Only for 40 games a season. Only for 40
Right.
It's only going to be 40 games, so it would be desolate half the time. You would have to have a nice plan. They didn't have a plan for the arts, no reinvestment into the community, none of that. It just was literally going to put a stadium here, and they weren't even actually in communication with organizations in Chinatown.
No.
Okay. All right. So all
right. Let's
dig in. Let's dig in. I'm waiting. Okay. So piece by piece, let's go. This is the cheese.
And you can split it in half. You got some ketchup, dip sauce over there.
I'm sorry, mind if I get in there?
Get in there, yeah.
Oh my God.
I told you.
Hey, you want a napkin?
Yes, please.
Some extra plates if y'all want to just take any forks and go through and just take whatever y'all want to add.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
So this is a cheesesteak, egg roll.
Yes, cheesesteak egg rolls.
It's delicious. Oh my God.
being in the city of Philadelphia, what makes sense to put in the egg roll cheesesteaks.
And this is hot sauce ketchup.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Right?
This is amazing.
Oh man. Can't get pork.
You go, Marsh, you want to try some?
Maybe at the end.
Huh? Uh-huh.
So I've been in maybe over 3 dozen candidate forums since this election cycle began in the summer. Mm-hmm. So oftentimes when I'm finished with the candidate forum or community event in West Philly, because I live in Northwest Philly, uptown, they I try to come here, but if it closed, y'all close before the thing, I'm like, oh, I want to go to Black Dragon. So it's like kind of one of the ways I celebrate when I have a good moment or good event. Come here and then I go home. So this is a big deal.
We've known each other for a while.
Yeah, we go back.
Through my community organizing. So as a chef, I do a lot of that work. A lot of my work has been around political organizing, community organizing as well. So
Yeah. So he feeds a lot of the movement people and stakeholders in, kind of grassroots, criminal legal reform, all of that. And that's one of the things I've been working on, along with Representative Krajewski as well, in the state legislature. So I'm currently in the state legislature, been there 10 years. And actually my bill to repeal the death penalty just passed out of Judiciary Committee, like Monday. So this is a special week for me.
Is a good cause for celebration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what's this one now?
Yeah.
that's the Magnolia Project beef. It's like a lemon pepper pepper steak.
Chad doesn't get to see.
Named after the Magnolia Projects where Cash Money Records was found.
Oh,
I had this one before.
But sweet potato chicken.
I have this one.
That's like sweet and sour chicken, but we take sweet potato. So the concept of sweet and sour chicken is like pineapple juice, ketchup, and vinegar. But we take a juiced yam, pineapple juice, and we make our sauce out of it that way.
and this is the vegetable lo mein?
Yes.
Is there a twist to this or just regular?
So what we do is we try to put a lot of vegetables that like zucchini, squash, different vegetables in it that would come from the regular vegetable lo mein that we would get at the regular Chinese store. And we got to feed the vegetarians and vegans. So we have to give them a dish.
We do.
Told you.
Oh my God.
That's how you know it's good. They stop talking.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's just mouth noises.
Noises, no politics.
Oh.
Food is love,
That's true.
right?
And this food is amazing. Oh my God.
And Chef Kurt, I mean, he has multiple restaurants. So you gotta also understand, he came here and personally made this feast for y'all. But he's also got a pizza spot up in North Philly.
Well, I co-founded it. I'm not a
Wait, so is that also a fusion or is it just regular pizza?
No, it's a regular pizza shop. So it's a pizza shop that I had co-founded years ago. So a lot of the work I do around food is around mass incarceration. Hiring principles. So I started this dinner series about 10 years ago called EMI Dinner Series. It's called In Mass Incarceration Dinner Series. We bring stakeholders of the community. We've had dinners with the district attorney, judges, perpetrators of crime, victims of crime, and we had dinner to talk about ways of reducing the prison population. So I've do those. I'm actually doing one next year for Lawrenceville. It's a boarding school. I do one for them every year, but they bring like their social science students over, their civil justice students over, and they pretty much have a dinner, and they meet with someone that was been formerly incarcerated. But we're having dinner, and they're telling them about their life, their trajectory, and usually like some of my friends that have been formerly incarcerated that are running nonprofits, that are doing things in the city, have them sit them in front of them and talk to them about their life, their experiences, so that like a kid coming from Lawrenceville one day may make it into the senator or governor's office, so that he has this experience of talking to someone that was formerly incarcerated, seeing that like everyone isn't the same.
If there's people that politicians are rarely ever hearing from. It is people who are formerly incarcerated or just, have that experience. Oh my God. Sorry.
No, hey, look, that's why we got to commune and feast.
That was just sweet and sour.
Yeah, sweet potato. So
Sweet potato. Mm-hmm. And then this is the
General Roscoe.
okay.
And he was the first black 4-star general in America. And we're recently with all this news with Trump, it just makes it hurts my heart that the fact that we have we're actually losing black generals and people in the military.
Yeah.
And General Roscoe Robinson was the first black 4-star general in America.
Oh my God. Okay. I think my favorite is General Roscoe.
Yeah.
That's a favorite. That's one of my favorites.
Oh my God.
This is you're doing great, by the way.
I know. I forget that I'm on camera. I can't wait to hear.
This one's not pre-recorded.
Yeah.
All right, so Summer Lee's coming on Saturday. Should we bring her here too?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love Summer.
Yeah. So we overlapped. How many years did we overlap?
Well, I don't know, you longer. For me, it was 2.
Okay.
I think for you, might was.
No, it's 4 then.
Oh no,
4.
Yeah.
We gotta convince her to run for Senate.
Yo, listen.
Take out that ogre.
He's called the F word here.
The F word.
Yeah, he's the real F word.
Okay. What does that mean?
So what I'll do is at candidate forums, and I'll ask the moderator, says, am I allowed to use the F word in this forum? And they think I'm going to say, I said Fetterman.
Okay.
He's the real F word. And
Yeah.
the thing is, on the campaign trail, I'll meet young people who don't know me, which is the majority of folks, right? And they're like, well, you're running for Congress. Like, okay. How do I know you're not going to be the next Fetterman? I get that all the time.
Everyone, he has created. I mean, he wasn't the only one who had a stroke. I feel like he gave everyone else a stroke with his twists and turns. Where everyone is so worried.
Just never know.
Yeah. That's a once in a lifetime situation, I think.
What's that?
The when you are victim of a stroke and you genuinely become Republican. I mean, he's anti-immigration. His wife at the time,
Brazil, yeah.
it was an undocumented migrant in the United States of America. It's just so ridiculous.
Ridiculous. That's the craziest thing ever. I
Yeah.
think about that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And she's great. Everyone loves her.
Yeah.
Everyone loves her.
I was never really a fan.
What? Of the wife?
No. Fetterman.
The wife?
No.
I'm kidding. I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
No, I mean, I've met her. She seems nice, but when he was lieutenant governor, it's a low bar for a lot of people, though. Oh, okay, he's for marriage equality, he's for weed, he's for criminal legal reform, but if you're from Philly, that's not impressive. That's the norm,
Yeah.
You don't get a gold star for that.
Yeah.
I tell women, oh, I'm pro-choice. You want a cookie? Of course you're supposed to be pro-choice.
Yeah.
You don't. So that was his thing. And I'm like, but he was quiet on fracking. Once he wanted to, have bigger aspirations, all the things that people were hyped about, he started being quiet on. And
So this actually kind of ties back to your current race right now. This is the bluest district in America, or one of the bluest districts in
Number
America.
one.
And, there's 2 questions that I have for you. One is about something that I was just seeing on CNN right before I got here, Harry Enton, doing the classic, black people are leaving the Democratic Party alarm bells that they ring all the time. They did this with Kamala Harris as well, if you remember, where they were like...
I do.
And even Barack Obama came out and was like, oh, I guess if you don't want to vote for Kamala, you might be black men, you might be misogynistic. It was ridiculous.
Yes.
The hyper-focus is ridiculous because the marginal swings are almost utterly irrelevant, especially when you look at major swaths of the white male population that's overwhelmingly voting for Republicans over and over again, and that's taken for granted. That's never seen as significant, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of scapegoating of black people in general.
Absolutely.
But do you feel like there's actually any changes? And if there are, where do you think that's coming from?
Well, I mean,
Like, are black people disillusioned with the Democratic Party at this point because they just haven't, like, Democrats have taken their vote for granted?
Well, yeah, but we also show up. I mean,
Exactly.
that's how you can't be a Democratic candidate for president or for most statewide office and win without black people. You know, there's a rule of thumb in this state that you need at least 11% of the total voting population in Pennsylvania for a Democrat to win. And that 11% has to come from Philly because we're the largest city by a long shot. And this is a black city. So if black folk don't show up, we all lose. But when we do show up, we're not the first at the trough. We don't get the things. So our vote is taken for granted, particularly black women. Because black women are the last true loyal bastion of the Democratic base.
Yeah.
But black men are not too far below that. So were there younger men of all ethnicities who were turned off or who felt disconnected? Yeah, but that's not based on blackness. That's based on exclusion
Across the
and
board.
erasure across the board.
And
you would see it among white, Latino, black, Asian American. You saw that. But here's the thing. They invested. They reached them where they were. And you know, I'm going to be slammed for even talking to you. How dare I be on your show? How dare I engage you? But there's a double standard because as a black progressive, I can't do this. I'm part of the problem or something. But Pete Buttigieg, he goes on Fox News. Nobody says anything.
Yeah.
Fox News is an inherently racist media outlet.
100%.
Right? But no one, and
Same
the
with
only
Bill
people.
Maher. Half of the politicians that were like, "Oh, I would never go on Hasan Piker's stream," were like, "You went on Bill Maher last week.
How do
He
you
said the
justify that?
N-word."
Right.
Like, that's insane to me.
Right, and so that double standard is real. So,
Yeah.
this is something that I love about Congresswoman Summer Lee.
She's
One of the
best.
many things. It's like people need to understand that many of us who identify as progressive, we are progressive because we are black.
Yeah.
Right? And understanding that just inhabiting black bodies is a political act and how it connects to however you choose to define progressivism, that we can't be truly free and have meaningful opportunities if we do not confront these structures that are inherently racist, right? And so that's why I'm a progressive. That's why I'm a democratic socialist.
Yeah.
Like, it's rooted in my blackness. You cannot talk about any of this without talking about race.
There's also the revolutionary history as well in general. Like, a lot of black organizing, especially in the 60s and 70s and onward, before the FBI got its hands on everything, was rooted around principles that I think now a lot of Americans would consider very radical.
Oh,
the Black
absolutely.
Panther Party was organized around the boundaries of some might even say Maoist thought. Do you feel like there could be an opportunity for resurgence within democratic socialism for black voters, at least in this district that you're a part of?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the sky's the limit. The labels are maybe what's disconnected, right? Because if you don't know anything about socialism or democratic socialism, or the word has been building up more oligarchy, or fascism, maybe people don't understand those definitions, but they understand fuckery. Right? Everyone understands that, whether it's queer phobia or issues around immigration or whatever. Like, yeah, I get that viscerally. I understand that regardless of the labels you use. And so we also have to understand that the things that most Americans want are socialist in nature, or they want to retain, whether it's Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid or public education or any of these things. Those in a free market system, in a capitalistic society, shouldn't exist. They existed because we made that happen.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that it is better funded and broader so it includes everyone. But yeah, we absolutely have that ability because we've done it before.
Yeah, and it's a never-ending struggle. We do take a lot of this stuff for granted. I mean, one of the simplest versions of this, obviously, is like the fire department, for example. Initially, it was a for-profit private enterprise, and obviously that created a lot of issues. And then we decided that it shouldn't be privatized anymore. It should be a public service. And yet, maybe not the fire department, but plenty of the other social safety nets that people have fought long and hard for are now being taken away from Americans. And I feel like it creates an environment of anger and resentment And I think the Republicans actually are very good at taking that anger and resentment and redirecting it to vulnerable populations, redirecting it back to black people, brown people, women in general, queer people, undocumented migrants, people that have a lot more to lose, and people that actually have the same exact class interests as the average white person.
Yeah, I that's so true. And one of the things that I really worry about sometimes is when in Pennsylvania they'll say, oh, in between Philly and Pittsburgh is Kentucky, and they'll call it Pennsyltucky as a slight to people.
I might have said that.
All right, so look, that's cool but I'm 7 generations Kentucky.
But I also do think that we can win in Kentucky.
Yes, but here's the thing. We shouldn't have rural communities be the butt of jokes, right? Because like my grandparents were civil rights activists in rural Jim Crow Kentucky. Like they were doing the work against the Democratic Party, because then no self-respecting black person would ever be a Democrat.
Yeah.
In the 1920s?
Yeah.
Like that's like being a chicken voting for Colonel Sanders. That didn't make any sense, right? They were proud Republicans. But they did amazing work in rural communities. And our rural siblings, we have a lot in common. And so if we want them to respect the issues and priorities of urban communities, we got to show that same respect. So I don't want to bash that. And let's also remember, the majority of black people are in the South.
Yeah.
Right? And the majority of black folk in the North come from the South.
Yeah.
So our roots are strong. And look, like we're eating the food of this is the brilliance, the culinary brilliance of enslaved people who now all these things are like next level haute couture, you know, high culinary stuff, but it was made by folks who were they didn't even own their own humanity legally. So we gotta connect the dots and find ways to engage folks where the billionaire class seeks to divide us. They're always doing it, and they're not gonna do it but for so long when we organize.
Yeah. And I do think that there is a tremendous opportunity to do that right now, especially in this day and age where I'm seeing a lot more frustration from regular lifelong Democrats who never would have considered the likes of Bernie Sanders, who voted against Bernie Sanders, come out and openly say, maybe Bernie was right and it was a mistake to vote for Hillary Clinton. We're seeing different versions of that all around the country with these insurgency campaigns, these disruptive campaigns that are a lot more responsive to the needs of the voters. And I think the response that corporate media is delivering is because they're worried about losing their grip on power. They can no longer gatekeep who gets to talk and for how long they talk.
Is that why they're afraid of you?
I think that's part of it. I mean, look, so you wrote articles, you had a blog in the 2000s. It was called Afro Netizen.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, I would love to ask you a little bit about that. Like, what was the overall goal with this blog?
Well, 1995, I was 25 years old. It was the year of the internet, right? And people were talking about it. And there started to become platforms towards the end of the 90s, and then there was something called new media, which is the predecessor of social media, right? And they talk about the blogosphere. And there was a lot of folks who were saying, oh, this is the great equalizer. Everyone has access to the internet. It's free. You can do whatever you want. But they didn't look at the power structures. They didn't look at structural inequality to show how sites of privilege just recreated themselves in a new sphere. So I said, well, you know, we were called netizens, citizens of the net. And like, oh, this is this egalitarian thing. And I'm like, no, it's not. Because all the most important voices that were being lifted up by corporate media were the same most privileged people, and they didn't represent the diversity of our nation. And so I created Afro Netizen. I said, yeah, there's black people on the internet too, and we have ideas and opinions. So I talked about politics and culture and society. And then I saw that the Democratic Party was going to, it was in the New York Times, they were going to allow some top bloggers, all of whom were white guys who went to fancy schools, and go with the press corps to the 2004 Democratic National Convention. And I knew someone who worked in the DNC, and I saw the article and I called him. I said, hey man, you need to make sure you get some black and brown folk in there, because if you have a all white crew, like that's, you know. And he's like, well, why don't you do it? I'm like, oh, whoa, I'm not on that level. And I convinced myself to do it. I maxed out my credit card and did the thing, and I interviewed folks. I interviewed, I interviewed Obama after his big speech that put him on the map. I went to the RNC, the Republican convention. That was nuts. And then after that, I kind of got on the speaking circuit talking about new media and representation. And so I just did my thing. There was no business model back then to sustain it, but I was really proud of expanding the opportunity and range of voices. And that was important to me because my great-great-grandfather founded the Baltimore Afro-American newspaper in the 1890s, which was a national publication. People all over the country read this paper, and it was so powerful that black folk had to hide the paper when they went south, because if white people saw them reading a black paper, they could be lynched. And that paper still exists 5 generations later. And so there's a connection, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to meet you. This is a form of media. This is independent media. You are not controlled by the corporate overlords, am I right?
Yeah.
Right? And you get in trouble for talking about the Epstein class and the billionaire class, right? Your reach is bigger than most local news stations, bigger than probably most national, in fact, right? That's asserting a kind of power that we need to move towards reclaiming a democracy that has always been fairly fragile, because we're really under authoritarianism right now, right?
Yeah.
Cloaked in democracy.
Yeah.
And so what that means is we need to have a broader array of viewpoints and platforms to push against the tech bros who are trying to control everything. So this is actually an act of defiance that also expands the conversation about a range of issues that are not going to be talked about in corporate media. And I'll give you an example. So they were trying to clown you yesterday. We have our biggest candidate forum of the year.
And they bring it up?
They brought it up after the they brought it up after the debate. So I get surrounded by all these white journalists. Notice I say white journalists.
Yeah.
So and they all say, we understand that you're going to be with Hasan Piker and he's very controversial and so forth, and you know, how do you describe it? And I said, wait, time out. And I said the thing about Pete Buttigieg on Fox News, and I said, I was just on NBC. You used to be owned by General Electric, which was one of the largest defense contractors in the world. Should I not come back on your show? They didn't have anything to say.
Well, there's also the optics of civility that I think a lot of mainstream outlets utilize, where like, I am vulgar, I'm a vulgar person, I'm a passionate person about the issues that I speak on. The reason why they don't like what I do is because of what I say, is because of the issues that I advance, the issues that I advocate for. But the angle of attack is always on the vulgarity front.
Right.
Like, oh, you don't speak in the same way and in the same tone that mainstream outlets do. But we now live in a post-Trump universe where I think it's like we should be speaking in the same exact way that regular folks speak.
Right.
I see no reason to try to censor myself or talk it a different way. And I also don't even think that they would care about my style if
your
I was
politics
saying
were
the
different.
right things.
Yeah.
If I was like, I'm pro-Israel, unconditionally.
They give you a pass.
I think corporations aren't the villain. Trump is. You know, like if I were to say stuff like that, then they wouldn't care. Then I would be the Joe Rogan of the left that they were supposedly looking for.
So I actually get the same thing, because sometimes I use colorful language. And I understand that, so I'm Gen X. But the next generation, they tend to be like, slow up on the profanity. But I make this point, and I think there's a difference profanity and vulgarity. And so sometimes I use profane language because I'm passionate. And so I'm not going to use milquetoast language when I'm feeling passionate. If I'm talking about justice, if I'm talking about systems of oppression, I'm not going to be polite. Like that defies the spirit of it. But here's the thing. Should we be more concerned about dirty words than dirty policies, than profane policies that are deeply inhumane? If we're talking about putting children in cages for the rest of their life without the chance of parole, we've done that in Pennsylvania. In 2015, they ruled that it was unconstitutional to put children in cages for the rest of their lives with no chance of parole. That's profane. That's profane act that actually dehumanizes and throws away, and they're largely poor black boys. Now they're finally coming home. and so if we're going to talk about words, we talk about deeds.
Yeah.
So, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's not an accident that I think the overwhelming majority of people that are like, oh, I won't go on Hasan's show, or oh, you're a dangerous radical, have no problem hanging out with Benjamin Netanyahu, taking photos with him, have no problem defending what I would consider to be the worst possible thing you could ever defend, a genocide of primarily
But you can't
children.
say genocide. How dare you?
Yeah, exactly. That's the real issue here. But I think many Americans are on our side, and I know that for a fact, especially on this issue, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's another reason why there's a lot of fear and a lot of controversy surrounding this stuff. But the reality of the matter is, people are a lot more intelligent than what the elites give them credit for. What the elites think of them is that they're stupid and easy to manipulate and malleable. Whereas even in these last couple of months, this fake controversy, this manufactured outrage, has not actually succeeded in any way, shape, or form. And as a matter of fact, a lot more people have reached out to try to get on the stream. Now, of course, I don't do that with everybody. I only do that for people that I think are good.
So if you don't mind me asking, I got a text from somebody, and it was sent me a link, and it was you and someone else watching a speech I gave in West Philly.
I think it was the one where you said, fuck AIPAC. Is that the one?
No, well, it was another one where I was talking about you can't kill the demon unless you name it. Or
oh, yeah,
I was going into, and you were, so bars. I was watching you.
Bars.
Thank you. So I was watching you, watching me. It was very meta. And there was a
That's
woman
just
there.
how it is now.
Yeah, but I thought it was fascinating. I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Because I'm not on Twitch. I don't, that's not my universe. And so I'm being brought into kind of a new space with a generation that is very engaged. And one of the first questions I get when I meet young people is, where are you on Palestine? Right? Because they don't know me, because it's a litmus test. Because if I bullshit them on that, why would they believe me on Medicare for all, right? Or a living wage for all, or all those other things. So
Ta-Nehisi said it best when he said, how can you expect a party that won't stop a genocide to actually fight for democracy? And it's right. And I think that's a pretty sound assessment to make.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I need that battery behind you.
Oh.
Just real quick.
Actually, which one?
Perfect. Yeah. Are y'all cool? So we got to go to the next one. We can continue this in the vehicle to the next location.
Okay.
All right.
Y'all cool with that?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
How are we gonna fit?
So
how are we gonna be able to?
In my SUV, we got a driver. You can sit in the front seat. Sure. And then y'all two in the
Okay.
back,
Wait, we gotta have a donut first.
Yeah, we got. Let's
Hold
get
up.
this.
And also,
you get up.
Hand me the green pad.
Oh, is it dying?
I can't remember the 5%. I'm just gonna hook it up.
Oh, it's full.
Eat a donut and then
This one's
Yeah, we
full.
got. Yeah, we
Wait,
got.
let me get the. Oh, we're about to move anyway.
We got to get this donut.
You're lobbed up.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna get a donut first. I gotta try this. These are all the same.
Yeah.
Sweet
Give me a
potato.
donut.
Yeah, I think y'all need to jump in.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, bro.
See, that's why we have profanity,
Oh,
right?
oh,
That's why you.
oh my god. Oh.
Is it that good? I feel like I need one now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yo.
what's going on?
Oh, that is
y'all get it?
insane.
Rick,
Dude,
come on, get some.
dude, the donut?
Are you-
Oh
Have you
my
had it?
god.
I have. It's been a while.
That is that okay, that is the that one
sick,
takes
right?
the cake.
Is that that's not the sweet potato one, is it?
Yeah.
Oh god. The Philly cheesesteak egg roll is bomb. It's all amazing. I like the General Roscoe's chicken
Yeah.
the most. But that donut, oh
That's
my,
the finisher.
Yeah. Yeah.
that dude. That is excellent. This is I've always
I know what
wanted
I
to
was
do this.
doing. When y'all asked me,
I've always,
I said
I've always
Black
wanted to do
Dragon.
this, the compliments
Right?
to the chef.
I told him it was an easy choice.
Why? What? I'm giving compliments to the chef, bro.
Yo.
That's what fancy people do.
Yeah, you got to call out the chef. I want to meet the chef. Yeah.
Okay, just one more. Just,
Well, I mean,
and
if
then
you're
we
going to
gotta
do
move,
it,
right?
then I might as well do it.
You gotta get one. It means no Reese's cups.
I know.
No Reese's cups.
I mean, you're in great shape.
Because I'm always
Bro,
walking.
he's out here doing cartwheels. He's a professional.
I do capoeira.
Oh, you do capoeira? No way. That's sick. My Tekken character was Eddie Kudo, the one that does capoeira. I would spam the two buttons where you just flip the entire time you stun lock your opponent.
So you're in LA, right?
Yeah.
So after I graduated from college, I moved to LA for the summer before I moved to Brazil, and I studied under a Brazilian instructor named Borracha. And Borracha means rubber, because he could do a handstand where the bottom half of his body was parallel to the ground.
Wow.
And he's like, his English wasn't good, and he said, I need you to walk down those stairs. And I said, okay, what's that about? He goes, no, on your hands. So at 22, I learned how to walk down a flight of stairs on my hands. I've been doing it ever since, but I
Have you whooped anyone's ass with the techniques in the Street Fight or something?
No comment.
Whoa, that's sick.
All right. I'm a man of peace.
You just that's crazy. So someone's trying to throw hands, you just go, hold on. You just do a roll and start spinning.
Yeah. You know.
All right.
This is your crew too?
Yeah. We got a lot of. What's up, man? Nice.
Hey, how you doing, Chris Raab?
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. Hey, how you doing? Pleasure. Likewise.
Nice to meet you.
My sister and I.
Hey, how you doing?
Is I nailed that.
Good.
Hell yeah.
Bet. Okay.
All right. Where's your car?
Right here.
You riding in?
Yeah, we're riding with them. Yeah.
You want to go lunch out there?
I'd love to.
Where's Rob at?
Oh, serious? Oh, word?
All right.
My
Who else is coming in the car with us? Just me and Chris?
Yeah, Chris Rob.
All right, let's do it. Okay, I'll get on the other side.
Okay.
Is that good for you?
Okay. Thank you.
Proud of you guys for doing time like that.
What? What do you mean?
Perfect. We're right on time.
Word?
Yeah, I'm actually really proud.
Look, don't trust me. I'm time blind. I'm aggressively neurospicy. So when I'm in it, I lose. I'm just saying.
So we're on our way.
So you-
to
so-
we're still live.
We're still live. All right.
Yeah, we're live. It never stops.
Who?
Yeah.
In the trunk?
Just get back there.
You don't mind?
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay.
Oh, you wanna?
I'm mic'd up already. Yeah.
I'll get out.
No, just.
No. He's literally
Does he have a
gonna.
ride or no?
Why would I? Wants to record.
Oh, okay. You just tell him you just get out.
He says he doesn't mind.
Okay.
In the trunk?
I mean, we could just have him in the
He's
back.
committed.
It's all
Come in the
good.
back seat, man.
Oh.
There's room right here. We're leaving him in the trunk. All right, yeah, look, come through.
So
Brad, can you get him from your side real quick?
you're.
Get him in from your side real quick.
Oh.
Sorry.
How
We'll get that for him. There you go.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
You good? Everybody good?
All right. Hey, that food. Are we saving that food?
That's for tonight, Russ.
The security guys would have loved to have that. They were talking
Yeah.
about.
No, they can have it. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't believe in waste. So
No, yeah, me
yeah,
either.
especially not like.
Well,
that.
I'm on camera. Otherwise, I would have shown you
What
how
you
I
can do?
what kind of performance I could show up.
Is that
with.
right?
Yeah. All right. So we got a silly one.
Okay.
In 2022, Pennsylvania had to choose between a victim of a Mossad stroke gun and a genocide-denying Turkish nationalist. Not our proudest work there, Dr. Oz and John Fetterman from New Jersey. That's the worst crime from for Dr. Oz.
Oh goodness.
And of course, John Fetterman won. And after the stroke, he also started adopting even more and more reactionary frameworks, and became probably one of the most conservative senators in Congress right now. Spends a lot more time on Fox News than many Republican senators do now. How do you plan on addressing Pennsylvania's severe mental health crisis, especially in the context of our current Senate representation?
Well, we have to destigmatize it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's important. Like, there's so many people who suffer, and they suffer in silence or in the shadows because of that stigma. So I think that's really important that we acknowledge that this is part of healthcare, right? There should be no separation. And, you know, also, like, there are people who are just assholes, regardless of condition, whether it's having a stroke or having mental illness. I think he was an asshole long before anything this befell him.
True.
Right? Some people are just
I think it
assholes.
accelerated his situation.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. But, you know, like, he was raised in a conservative family, wealthy conservatives. I think it was populist cosplay for him.
Yeah.
I didn't trust him, right?
It's no different than the hoodies, what you're saying, and the shorts.
Yeah, I mean, it was a costume that I didn't buy. I didn't buy. I was not impressed. And I understand why people were. A lot of people want novelty. They see the same old folks in the same suits talking the same old poll-tested stuff, and it leaves them dry. And when you see somebody like this, he's 8'3". He makes you look, you know.
Yeah.
So
He's taller than me, huh?
yeah, a little bit.
Damn.
Right?
He's mogging me. He's hype-mogging me, as we say.
No, but like, you know, you don't see that kind of person in elective office, and that gets your attention. And then when he says stuff, he trolls folks. He was pretty good at trolling folks back in the day, but that's not enough. I like to say when people ask, well, how do I know you're not going to be next Fetterman? I said, he had tweets, I had receipts. I have 10 years of a legislative track record. I have thousands of votes, hundreds of bills I've introduced, hundreds of bills that I've co-sponsored. So if you want to know what I'm going to do in Congress, you can see the 10 years I've served in Harrisburg and say, oh, okay, did I push stuff out about reparations? Yes. Did I do 100% renewable energy? Yes. 100% fair funding of public education? Yes. So did I take corporate PAC money for the 10 years I could have? No, because in Pennsylvania, this is going to blow you away. In Pennsylvania, you could cut me $1 million check if I'm running on the state level. State level.
Wow.
But in Congress,
unlimited.
it's unlimited, but it's so much worse. If you were a lobbyist, you could buy me a Suburban.
That's crazy.
You could buy me a summer house. As long as I report it, it's legal.
God,
in this
that
state.
is insane.
So to not take a dime of corporate PAC money in 10 years tells you who I am and what my values are.
At a certain point, I mean, this seems a little silly. Maybe you should have slid something.
No,
a little summer home.
No. Listen. This is what I tell my sons over here.
Integrity was worth more.
Well, that's what I told my sons.
If I was your son, I'd be pissed. Like, Dad, what are you doing?
No,
you could have gotten a Lamborghini.
It's entirely possible, but no. But the reason I wouldn't get that is because my politics would not align with people who would want to cut me a big old check or get me all that other stuff.
Let's talk about that, actually. So, as reported by Dropsite News, an AIPAC-affiliated super PAC named 314 Action Fund has spent more than $2.6 million boosting your rival, Stanford. The super PAC says its only mission is to elect doctors and scientists. However, Stanford says she supports Medicare for All, yet she has not committed to co-sponsoring the Medicare for All bill. How do your healthcare policies differ from hers? And specifically, what's your plan for implementing Medicare for All?
I don't know what her healthcare policies are. I've been on a lot of forums.
I've been looking too. It's very confusing.
On the website.
Not even just the tweet stuff that she put out the other day, where it was like, "Have you taken a dime from AIPAC?" She's like, "What's AIPAC?"
And I got a little heat for that because people thought I was spreading rumors. And I tell people, look, you don't have to trust me. Just Google it. Yeah. You will see that there's independent reporting. You said Dropsite, right?
Yeah.
The same person who was at The Intercept in 2024 reported on it. AIPAC, so the other viral moment was when I said AIPAC is trash. AIPAC knows its brand is trash.
Yeah.
So if they want to help someone, they don't give them money. They give money to an intermediary. And the intermediary, which is fully documented, is United Democracy Project.
Yeah.
And that's how 314 was funded in part, but it's also funded by some billionaires too.
Yeah, so that's actually what I wanted to get to, which is, do you feel like even the hesitance in communicating a full-throated support for certain issues comes from, by your estimation, a willingness to accept these kinds of corporate PAC sponsorships, basically, from 314 and numerous other subsidiaries? Just like you pointed out, AIPAC knows its brand is toxic, so they don't go in with a straightforward approach where they're like, we're AIPAC and we're sponsoring this person because they're pro-Israel. Usually, they don't even mention Israel at all, as we saw in Illinois.
Right.
And then they only celebrate after the fact.
Right. Or they'll attack the person who's against AIPAC.
Yeah.
Right. So they'll pull up stuff out of context or something when they were a kid or something like that, and they'll make it a big thing, which is what's going to happen to me. Like in a matter of days or weeks, I'm sure the AIPAC folks and then, you know, all those other folks are going to, you know, say Chris RAAB kicks puppies, you know, or whatever, you know, like that's what they do.
You're hanging out with a dangerous radical is what they'll say probably.
Yeah, but
I think a lot of that stuff, people see that and they understand exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
But transparency is key. I think it's important for people to understand that many of these groups, regardless of what they call themselves, is usually still funded by the same billionaires or directly by the same organizations like AIPAC.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But you asked about healthcare, and like, so I'm the only one who has consistently said I would co-sponsor the Medicare for All bill, and the prime sponsor of that bill just endorsed me, Congresswoman Jayapal, which is like a big affirmation, right? Because she doesn't have to get in the race. She could just see whoever won, because we're all saying we're for it, but she knows that I'm actually going to do the thing, and I'm going to work in unison with progressives in Congress to make it happen. And people think, oh, Medicare for All, oh, it's too big, it's too bold. But just think about what happened in a moderate Democratic administration with Biden, right? I mean, he was no radical, right?
Yeah.
But they invested in expanding the child tax credit, and it reduced child poverty by over half in a fucking year.
Yeah.
In 1 year. That's how bold was that. If he said, oh, we're going to eradicate poverty, everyone thought he was crazy or he had dementia or something like that. But they almost did it if we had the ability to expand that political base and the power in the Senate and Congress. We could have actually eradicated it.
Yeah.
It is a policy choice to sustain poverty, right?
Yeah.
We don't need it. It is an artificial thing. And when I'm getting, the critique of me is, oh, he's too bold.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing, especially in plus 40 district. Regardless, it ties back to something that I believe, which is that there's this idea that like our brand of politics won't work, and it only works in deep blue districts. Well, we're in a deep blue district, so there's no reason for a deep blue district to have a wishy-washy corporate Democrat who won't come out and say what Israel is committing is a genocide, for example, or will even go so far as to say things like calling what Israel's doing is a genocide to be hurtful. I'm of course referencing Stanford here.
Right.
That's another point that I wanted to have your take on. It's an unbelievable quote, but I'm going to read it.
Oh goodness, I know
Stanford
what you're going to say.
Went on to say that describing Israel's genocide of Palestinians as a genocide is as hurtful to Israelis as it is to someone saying the N-word around her. As someone whose great-great-grandfather had to save up money to buy himself out of slavery here in the U.S., how do you view the connection between black liberation and Palestinian liberation?
I mean, I think you referenced it before. There's a long connection and solidarity with black leaders and the Palestinian cause, right? That's nothing new. Hey.
Okay. I know, but it's fine. We'll keep it going. That was a powerful question for us to cut in between. But you're on the law mic, so you're fine.
Okay.
So so liberation is a universal value.
Right.
It's a universal. You got another mic coming on?
I only have 7. It's fine.
One for you, if you don't mind, sir.
Oh, you want? I'm going to take another one too?
Yeah.
Okay, which one's this for?
No Down Left Behind, but they're rebranding No One Left Behind.
Okay.
Even better, right?
You just want ours?
You're going to give me the audio after?
I got Casa Weapons on.
Sure.
Okay. All right, perfect.
Like,
We'll be in touch.
Collective liberation is just a slogan if you don't actually stand up for folks.
Yeah.
Right? And I find common cause with the Palestinian people. I'm black, right? I descend from, when we talk about occupation, I've introduced bills for indigenous rights, and it's all connected.
Yeah. What's going on? Hello. Nice to meet you.
Hey.
Oh, thank you.
All right, thank you. I love Renatas. I
There
love
are
it.
so many people outside.
Yes, we have
What is
only
happening?
in passing.
Is this like
I don't know if you remember, but I brought
Is
you.
this a fundraiser? Oh, that makes sense.
We're from the same
Yes.
city. We're from the same city.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
You guys.
I brought my sons here.
No, take it off.
Oh, he's just dabbing up the owner.
All right, okay.
Yeah. No, I'm good. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All
right.
Let's get them out there. Fire up the crowd a little bit.
Okay. Wow. There is like more people.
You.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Oh my God. Hey, dude.
In a second, let's just get situated first.
We wanted like a little privacy upstairs for a quick second before we go out.
Yeah, let's do that. Definitely, because I have some more questions that I want to ask. Hi. What's going on, guys? What? Uh-oh.
You want to go
Oh,
first?
there's no privacy out there? It's fine, then. It's fine.
Yo, you see outside?
There's no...
Outside too. How about this?
Is this the norm for you?
Listen, you guys stay up here,
Yeah.
chop it up for just 2 minutes right
Okay.
here, and I'm gonna
Okay.
just get everybody situated real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Hello again. That was a nice little acrobatic
We
move.
have to... 1 second, guys. Oh, my God. All right, this is it.
Is this the norm for you? Is this?
Not all the... I don't usually announce where I'm going at
Oh,
the
yeah,
time, so that's probably the reason.
Yeah. Did you see outside?
Yeah, no, there's even more people outside. There's like hundreds of people outside. We're gonna get in trouble, I feel like.
Good trouble. Good trouble. This is good trouble.
So as far as your opponent goes,
So I got 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go back to Stanford
Sure.
again
All right.
because she's done a lot. She wrote an op-ed, memorial for Colin Powell, describing him as in 2021, describing him as embodying greatness, continually striving for excellence, and setting his own bar. For many Americans, Powell is remembered as the Republican Secretary of State who held up a vial of white powder at the United Nations and lied to the world to justify going to war with Iraq, which killed hundreds of thousands, if not millions. What's your reaction to Stanford's praise of Powell, and how does that contrast with your views on U.S. foreign policy?
Well, I'm an explicitly anti-war candidate, and I'm open and consistent about being anti-militarist and anti-imperialist, and I think that's important. And while there can be people who help internally in the military-industrial complex in positions of power who may promote multilateral diplomacy, when you put yourself in that position, you have to follow orders, and he chose to follow orders that got us into a war that killed hundreds of thousands of people. And you know, that's not and it's bigger than any one person. But we have to talk about the systems and not the symbols that may be anomalous somehow because the person may have had good positions on reproductive rights or, you know, affirmative action or so forth. We got to talk about the structure, the systems. And if we don't do that, then we're complicit.
Yeah. Let's talk about your other opponent, Sharif Street. He called your criticism of AIPAC in Stanford over the top a few weeks ago. Even as AIPAC-aligned groups spend millions to influence this race. Given your stance that AIPAC is a racist organization, how do you respond to Street downplaying AIPAC's harmful influence? What does that say about his willingness to stand up to not just AIPAC, but also other corporate PACs as well?
Well, just yesterday he apologized.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he apologized because it came out what the direct connections were to AIPAC in support for our opponent. But the irony is, Senator Street benefits from some of the biggest AIPAC donors who have maxed out to him. And
he said, I believe, in the debate setting that he didn't know if that was the case, right?
Right, that's absurd because one of them is a billionaire, and these are well-known folks connected to AIPAC. So that's a specious argument. And so the question shouldn't be for voters, which candidate takes the least money from AIPAC, directly or indirectly? Which one publicly disavows AIPAC and is willing to say there's an ongoing genocide and we're complicit with our tax dollars? And I'm the only one in the race doing that. And I think that's important because it is related to how these campaigns are fueled. And if they're fueled by insider money, billionaires and others, that's going to tell you who you're going to get in Congress.
DSA National endorsed you earlier today.
Yeah, I just found that out. Yeah.
It was a huge deal. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's one of only 2 national candidacies, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. What do you think that says about your candidacy? What do you think that says about your campaign in comparison to who you're running against right now?
Well, I think irrespective of who I'm running against, it's about what I'm running for, right?
Yeah.
I do not have to fear the S word. I can lean into it because that's my ethic, that's my people. And by the way, you were talking about Paul Robeson earlier. My great uncle was running buddies with Paul Robeson, and they worked on the genocide decree against the U.S. government when they were saying that there was an act of genocide against African Americans in 1951. So that's like my family history. That's an inheritance that has helped build me to the person I am today and be the father I seek to be in the public servant. So if they were doing that in 1951 against much greater odds, I'm sure as hell going to stand up on the right side of history, even if it hurts my campaign. Because what I keep telling my sons is, if I have to lose my integrity to be more viable, I shouldn't win.
Yeah, and you also already said you don't want a Lamborghini for your sons.
That's true.
Which I feel like is foolish. But anyway, you organize a teachers union at Temple, and you've called for a workers' bill of rights. What's your vision to protect Americans who make a living working 9-to-5 jobs?
Well, we definitely need to strengthen worker rights. We need to make it easier for them to organize. We need to make sure that it's harder for corporations to retaliate. That's what happened to me at Temple University. I was one of a few people who helped expand the current union to include adjunct professors. I was a part-time professor. We were paid a poverty wage, and these are folks with PhDs who are on public assistance. And no one in this country, whether they have a GED or a PhD, should be working 40 hours, right? 40 hours a week and still be in poverty, right? So I'm also big on a living wage for all. So it's not just bumping up the minimum wage, but it's making a living wage so that people can actually survive and ultimately thrive.
Well, you think we'll have a time to talk afterwards as well at some point? Because I have a lot is questions I wanted to do. Are we supposed to start?
Yeah. How much more time do you need?
What are we supposed to be doing right now?
So RAAB is going to go to, there's like a speaker outside. All these people just came from canvassing. He's going to give them a little bit of talk. We had like 400 canvassers today, so it's like a huge turnout.
It's like the biggest in like Philly history.
Yeah.
Modern Philly history.
So he's going to go out and talk a little bit. If you want to talk for a few minutes, I'm sure everybody here wants. We'll do like some pictures and stuff. Then we'll take a car ride, and you can do more questions. Let's just chill in the car on the way to the next spot.
What happens up there?
They're all going to come outside.
Oh, bet. Okay. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right, Hey, what's up, Sam?
You're there too.
What's up?
What's up, guys?
Hello. Hello again. Yo, this is nuts. Woo. Hasan Piker.
That's crazy. Mark, did you see that?
What's up? What's up?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It's funny.
What's up, people? How you all doing? Well, damn. Were you all just canvassing? Talking to your neighbors? Let them know what solidarity looks like. What movement looks like. I am loving this. This was supposed to be a sleepy old primary. Nothing sleepy about this shit. I am wide awake. In fact, I'm so awake, I'm woke. But you all aren't supposed to be here. You all aren't supposed to be here because you understand that you're supposed to be apathetic. Y'all supposed to be apathetic. Young people are not supposed to care. But here, well, that's what they said.
Presidency is age-fit.
That's what they said. I'm not interested in they, I'm interested in we. This is what the real we looks like. Because 250 years ago when they wrote We the People, it wasn't us. This is an aggressively fabulous outpouring of humanity. The question is what we do with it. Because this is our moment and it's rooted in movement. The moment is nice. The movement is necessary. And I'm just going to say it. On May 19th, I'm not going to win.
Yeah, you are.
No. You don't understand. On May 19th, I'm not going to win. We're going to win. You know it's true because only we can save us. Y'all are not waiting for someone to descend from the clouds. You need to look in the mirror, and more importantly, you need to look around at each other right now. That's who's going to save us. And I'm going to put a humble brag here real quick. I earned this. And I'm going to tell you why I earned it because, listen, particularly young folk, any Gen Z folk here? That's your people. And I know 93% of you are here for Hasan Piker, and that's okay.
No.
Maybe 97%. That's all right. It's a combo. Oh, thank you. They like me too. Even though I'm not on the Twitch. Is that it? It's the Twitch? Is that it? I am now? I think I found out I got endorsed by Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. And DSA National came in this morning, I hear. But I got some even bigger news that I want to thank Hasan Piker for. Today I got endorsed by my two sons. So I want to thank you for making that happen. But I just want to thank all of you.
Thank you.
I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this. And this is what radiant love looks like. And I'm specific. I got that from my man Rabbi Mordecai, and he used the term radiant love. And what I love about it is we can try to harvest and keep and hoard all the things we want for ourselves, but love is best when it's spread wide. And what we do in this moment with that love, just like how I feel about power, is we have to diffuse it and not concentrate it. Thank you.
Do you mind announcing the national DSA endorsement for?
Yeah.
I don't have the political class's endorsement. You said it, not me. But yes.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get any of those endorsements. The most important endorsement are my two sons and my mama. The most important endorsement I can ever receive is your votes. Because that's how we're going to win. We got to show up and we got to send a message to the establishment. listen, not just the MAGA extremists, that's fun. Like that's fun, kick them around. But we also have to send a message to the Democratic Party. And for those of you who don't know my politics and know why I'm running, I'm not running for the Democratic Party, I'm running for you. I'm running for you. The many, not the moneyed. The many, not the money. So I'm not going to them and asking for permission. I'm listening to the people, and I'm accountable to you. But now I need you to be accountable to this moment and show the fuck up. Because you're not actually voting for me, you're voting for we. And you're voting for folks who want to vote but can't vote. For the 17-year-olds. For the non-citizens. For the people in cages. Your vote is so much bigger than you. And we have an opportunity to share a powerful message that organized people will kick organized money's ass every time. We gotta let them know we got less than 3 weeks to go. This is ours. This is ours if we claim it. And let them underestimate. I love being underestimated. Oh, that's my love language. Please underestimate me. But when we show up in force, we are indomitable. And I want you to know that I see you. I see you. I see you and I love you because this was a choice you all made. You didn't have to be here, but this is where you chose to be in this moment, and I love you for that. Not because you're going to put me in office, but you're going to transform the city of Philadelphia, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and the entire nation on May 19th. Yeah. Do we want a free Palestine? I don't think it's radical to be opposed to occupation. To be opposed to apartheid. We are on the right side of history. And I want to thank all the Jewish people. I just want to make this plain. There are a lot of people who are showing up, but there are people who have been connected to Israel through culture and familial ties, but who showed up because they believe in a free Palestine. And they've created space for people like me to stand up in solidarity. I don't believe I'm brave for saying there's a genocide. I got eyes. I can see. But those folks who are on the front lines, my Muslim brothers and sisters, my Arab siblings, Jewish folks, Palestinians in particular. You've been fighting this fight for too long on the margins. And you need more people who stand up for you. Because I was told if I want to be viable and I want to win, I'm going to have to pull back on some of my positions. And I'll be honest, my sons were very nervous about my jumping into this race because they were afraid of political violence and the long history of black progressives. but black progressives who were mowed down in one way or the other for speaking truth to power. But I told them that we descend from a rich history of badasses, of black abolitionists and freedom fighters and civil rights activists. And I said, I'm not bowing down to anyone. This is our fight. And so in this moment, I'm asking something from you. Many of you have already knocked doors. This is how we're going to win. Is talking to our neighbors, bringing them out, letting them know that there is a future that they can see themselves a part of. But because I don't take corporate PAC money, more the 10 years I've been in public office in the state legislature, not a dime. Because I want people to know that when I speak, it's not because some corporation has its fingerprints, but I'm speaking for the people. And so I know a lot of you have special numbers that mean a lot to you. 18 is significant to a lot of folks in the Jewish faith who've given me money. 27 is a number that a lot of Bernie-crats, right? 16 is my favorite number because it represents my 16 great-great-grandparents, all of whom were born into slavery, all who died free. Not a one of them was waiting for Abraham Lincoln. They died free because they saved themselves. So 16 is an important number to me. Whatever important number is to you, I would love for you to give me that number in US dollars. Did you say 3,500 is your favorite number? $250. Whatever it is, I want you to, this is important. 6-7, I love it. Is it 6 or 7 or is it 67? I'll take 67. All right. Whatever that number is, I need you to understand that whatever that dollar amount is more than I started with. Some of you are struggling. You may be underemployed, underpaid, unemployed, disrespected, exploited. Whatever that number is, know that I am grateful for it, and that money is not going to DC consultants. It's paying for the beautiful labor and collective wisdom of people on the ground. Many of those folks are here today. That's where this money is going to. Because we're fighting against folks who have billionaire-backed super PAC money benefiting them and wealthy insiders. But I believe in people power. And this is what people power looks like. So whatever it is you can give, we have QR codes right here. Whatever it is, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. On to victory! Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to a young man who, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. Hasan
I don't know how this thing works. I've never used one of these before, so bear with me, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you, Chris RAAB, for introducing me to some amazing people here in Philadelphia today, even though it's raining a little bit. Happy birthday. I can't believe they keep making me follow incredible orators like Summer Lee first and now Chris. I don't know how I'm going to keep up with that energy and momentum, but thank you so much for having me here today. It's a real honor to get to meet all of you. I know I always say touch grass, and this is probably one of the best uses of touching grass that you possibly could do. Door knocking, being a part of your communities, talking to your neighbors, spreading the good word, and making sure that we can have responsive politics once again. This is a district that is plus 40 Democrat. It's a deep blue district, and that's why it's one of the more important districts. The reason why is because this is where we run up the numbers. This is a district that we cannot allow to go to a do-nothing Democrat that is gonna... A do-nothing Democrat that can't say what Israel is doing is a genocide. This is not just a battle that we are fighting against the Republicans, the fascists, the reactionaries, but we are also fighting for more responsive politics to make sure all of your voices are heard and all of your needs are met. We've all been through struggle. We've all been through the process of going out and door knocking for Bernie Sanders in 2016 and 2020. We've seen the disappointment. But right now, as someone who's been all around the country, let me tell you, I see a lot of people that I normally never would have thought that say Bernie was right and that we need left populist politics in this country. Responsive politics that says no to corporate money, no to corporate donors, and yes to ordinary Americans like you. A politics that will center the working class. And that's why it's my great honor to announce to you that Chris RAAB got the national DSA endorsement today. I better get one of those hats too. I got the New York one, but I need the Philly one too now. I got it. My head is so large, it just didn't fit. Thank you. Someone in the crowd said my head's normal size. Oh, okay. They're giving me a note. They want me to tell you guys that May 4th is the last day for registration, the last day for mail-in, and you got to go to chrisraab.com. That's chrisraab.com to donate, to make sure that you donate to responsive politics, the politics that centers you, the working people, because guess what? After this Twitch stream, Chris is gonna have even more enemies. Okay. AIPAC is already all over this race. They do everything in their power to undermine democracy. That's right. Can I get a fuck AIPAC? Can I get a free Palestine? All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Standing up? Or just do a selfie? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, we'll do like, oh yeah, bet. Hey, look, I'm taller than you.
Get that way!
All right, y'all. Oh, thank you.
The rain, the sunshine.
Charmander or Squirtle?
Oh my god.
Charmander.
What's up, people?
Two on three.
I'm too scared.
Why are you?
What's that?
Hasan, now Mark.
All right. Oops, sorry. Sure. I don't know how I'm gonna carry it, but this is crazy.
Palestinian, brother.
Hey!
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, my man?
I gotta go. I'm sorry.
What's up, my man?
Thank you so much, Rev Rap.
You got it. You got it. Hey, all right.
Can I get a picture with you guys with the poster?
Hurry up. Hurry up.
You got it? Is someone going in the back?
I just need a picture. Hasan, wait, can I please get a Polaroid of you?
I gotta go. I'm sorry. We'll be back.
Show us the poster.
Oh, we put it in the bag already.
Can I just get a Polaroid of you, please?
All right.
Too dark. Oh,
I'll just sit next to you, Rab,
Yeah, yeah.
before I get in the back. Let me get in the back and then close this
Dude.
up.
that's for you.
Wow,
Hasan.
that was. Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you.
One more
All right,
for me.
Ren.
One more for me. Everybody in a photo. Thank you.
All right.
Yo, that's nuts.
Good shit, guys.
Yeah.
I guess that's a regular Thursday for you, huh?
No. This is
Pretty good.
Yeah.
this is a little bit extraordinary.
Yeah.
Wait, March.
A lot.
Are y'all going to Haraz next? Yeah. Yo, guys, real quick. I know
Yeah.
you want to do more interview questions, so we can kind of chill here.
Yeah. Well, let's just drive to the other spot and then we'll figure out a different.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got wet, so I have no idea.
You good?
Yeah. I think it's fine.
This next place, will we be able to sit down for a second?
Drive, brother, drive. What's the way?
So I got a fuck ice from you in Minneapolis, and I got a fuck pack from you.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Of course. Oh my God, March, get that.
Oh, that's it. Hey.
Oh.
It's that way. It's gonna be easier. And
gotta
then stick
go.
it to the back.
Wait, here, get.
Make you a rug of Kaya.
Thank you. Oh my God, it's
You can
incredible.
hang it on the wall.
Yo, that's tight.
Thank you, Hasan.
Bye, guys.
More gaming streams, Hasan. Campaign headquarters.
All right. All right.
I'll show you Michael Brooks.
Sure. You want me to sign it?
Michael Brooks, yeah. Thank you.
Here, hold on. Before you leave, hold on. Let me sign this real quick. God damn.
What's up?
Can I get a quick selfie with you guys?
Here you go.
I love you. Preston Power, brother. Thank you.
Here's the.
You got it? All right. All right.
All right, we gotta pull out. We gotta pull out.
Hurry,
Don't wait for West Car anymore.
All right.
Gotta go, Momo. Like, he can follow you. He doesn't know the direction.
All right. Watch out. Be careful. Be careful. All right. I'll see you again.
Hasan, if you want to interview Mumio, I'll do Jamal.
All right,
I can get you in contact.
All right. Okay. All right.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Oh my, I can't. We gotta go.
Dude.
It's that security guy. We're singing forever. You want me to get up?
No.
Jameer, what's up, my man?
I love you, man.
Hell yeah.
All right, Temple in the house. All right, watch out. All right, be safe, folks. All right.
Mutual aid. We need food.
All right.
Okay.
All right, brother. Hey, good to see you. What's up, my man?
Always helping homies, man. We're just trying to
I know, I love it.
feed Philly.
Thank you, brother. Talk to y'all.
Hasan, peace.
Bye, guys. Oh my God.
Damn, bro, your life is nuts.
Oh, homies helping homies. Oh yeah, Point Breeze. Good shit. Good shit. We got your hat. You know.
No, that's your people, man.
Yeah.
That's not my people. That's your people. They're
I
here
didn't
to
know
see
that
you.
until.
They're here to see you.
I'm not. This is new for me. So.
Yeah.
This
Well,
is-
get used to it. I was talking to Zoran the other day. He was like, the first time we ever hung out, people would keep mobbing you when we were doing, when we were walking in the streets of Astoria. And now, and at the time I was thinking, I didn't realize that would be what my life would be like.
Yeah.
So get used to it. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Alright, so then shake the camera, Chad. Get us locked going on.
I'm more concerned about my sons. That's all.
Yeah.
They're.
Wow, this rain got crazy
It
out of
did.
nowhere.
This next place we're going to, are we like sit down or what's the plan?
There's a fundraiser, right?
Yeah, this next one is like primarily students who are not super politically active, and they're all volunteering. So we got like a group of probably like 40 or 50 students there who are going to be like super volunteers.
Yeah, what's this?
So it's like a tea coffee spot.
Idea.
So kind of like the same setup, but we could talk in the car a little bit before we walk in.
Okay.
Maybe we'll move.
Yeah.
Glorious infidelity.
And then there's a back room in there where we could chill, and it's a little more quiet too.
All right, so
Yeah.
while we're still in the car,
Yeah.
oh, that was a tough act to follow, man. You're so good. You got a lot of experience in doing activism and speaking behind a megaphone.
Yeah.
So you guys just broke history in recent Philly history. It seems today you had more.
Apparently statewide.
Yeah.
Wow.
Larger canvases, absolutely. That was a ton of people, man.
I mean, I've been doing this a while. I mean, I've been in office for 10 years, but I've been involved in this. I haven't seen anything like this related to electoral politics.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's the
next level.
That's the thing. I think like a lot of people are getting activated because you're the type of person that they know would be worth it. Especially young people. This is what I hear most commonly from all the other candidates I work with, where they're like, and even Debbie Dingle, who was at our University of Michigan rally that I did with Abdul, she showed up just to see the crowd, and she told the Associated Press, she's like, I've never seen this many young people before in any, like, this is a primary. Yeah. It's a Democratic Party primary. What are young people doing here? This is normally like the super boosters of the party that are oftentimes older, white,
Unprecedented. Unprecedented.
But all right, let's get back to the questions, because I have a fire round of things that I'm going to ask you. Whether you're in favor of not or not. But we talked a lot about military conflicts, militarism. You've been outspoken on ending military conflicts abroad, including in Palestine and Iran. What's your stance on the United States utilizing economic warfare, like we've seen in Venezuela, like we've seen in Iran in the build-up to the Iran war, and even in Cuba as well? I went and saw it personally with my own two eyes, the devastation that our policies, our economic terrorism, the sanctions regime has caused there.
Well, I mean, I think it's important for people to know that the reason we go to war is for economics. Yeah. It's not to expand democracy or whatever. U.S. imperialism, and imperialism generally, is the tip of the spear for corporations, right? And so it's always connected, right? You can't disconnect that. It's always about the money through military domination, right? And so that's how it works. You get a foothold in these other nations, and you extract, and then you control their political systems. You kill the leaders you don't want, you put in the dummy ones, and then we don't have the foresight to say that might come back against us. Yeah. That's what happened in Iran, right? All the things that we're now fighting are things that we caused through imperialist policies. And so we always have to, that's the norm.
Yeah. Do you believe the United States should abandon the posturing of tariffs and export bans and the like, and instead collaborate with countries that we've previously considered foreign adversaries, even countries like China? This is something that I talked to Matt Duss, who's who does has an advisory role in AOC's foreign policy as well. And there's this new school of thought in American foreign policy that's growing with the Quincy Institute and the like, where they think that a collaborative approach to countries that we have previously ordained as foreign adversaries is probably the best path forward. How do you feel about that?
I agree. And the tariffs policy of Trump is not even a Republican policy. It's a Trumpian policy. Yeah. There are plenty of Republicans who know that this is not the appropriate path, right? Because of political domination, their voices are muted. Just like America First conservatives. They don't want us in Iran. Yeah. It's not, you don't have to be a leftist to realize we have no business being in Iran. Like, and that's an opportunity to work across the aisle, right? Because you got to meet people where they are and realize you may not agree on 90% of things, but that 10% could avert a third world war.
Yeah.
And that's how I've been successful in the State House. I've had to work with folks who have radically different views than me and meet them where they are. And you know, like that's the thing, corporate media and establishment folks, they don't want us to talk. They don't want me validating you, and they don't want you validating me, because they're afraid that if we find a common cause that we're going to disrupt things, and we are. And you and I don't have to agree on 100% of things. I don't agree with 100% of my closest friends and family. That's okay, but where we are united.
Well, that's your organizing background, because you've done this a lot. A lot of people, even young leftists, don't understand this. Like, I try to communicate to them, like, you're not always going to agree on everything. Like Bernie, I love Bernie. I don't agree with certain things that Bernie does, but it doesn't matter, because like, I know what he means. I know what he means to this movement. I know what he's working towards, and I agree with the ultimate goal there.
Yeah.
And even if we don't agree on every single thing, it doesn't matter.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. We can't have this purity test, and the purity test is always put on us on the left, never on the right or moderates. It's never there.
Yeah.
And I don't accept that. No. And it's interesting. That the journalists who ask, who bring this up, they say, well, people say. I'm like, well, who are these people? Are you saying it? I haven't had people say anything about why this is problematic. Yeah. You're bringing it up. But if you have an issue because you are an extension of corporate media, tell me what issues you have. Mm-hmm. Because they're also interviewing people who may have repugnant politics. Well, so how are you doing that? Like these double standards?
Yeah, they have Randy Fine on, which, by the way, I don't think I'm in the same vein as. Obviously, there's no moral equivalence there, but we saw why they're afraid. Yeah. We saw why they say I'm such a dangerous radical. It's because hundreds of students, hundreds of Gen Z, like. People who are much younger than the average person who's normally invested in the primary process, especially in the Democratic Party, are coming out and getting activated, getting primed. Obviously, they wouldn't do that if there wasn't a candidate that's not worthwhile. They're not going to do that for every single person, right? They're doing it because you identify a lot of the problems and you choose to solve those problems, and it's like unheard of, unfortunately.
And there's a convergence of interest.
We're not leaving it. We're still doing an interview.
Yeah, there's a convergence of it. You couldn't do this if you were here for a corporate Dem, but you wouldn't be here if I was a corporate Dem.
Exactly.
Right? So that convergence is very scary. And let's remember when Martin Luther King was starting to talk about militarism and poverty and class issues, he scared the establishment.
He did.
When Malcolm X was starting to talk about...
New York Times wrote an op-ed, I still remember, I remember reading about it. They wrote an op-ed after his Vietnam speech where they were like, you should stick to your own lane.
Yep.
Talk about black issues instead.
That's
Don't
right.
talk about this stuff.
When you're talking about...
No, we're not leaving yet.
But when we're talking about collective liberation and how we have to bring all people together, that's when they got very nervous, and Malcolm and Martin were getting really close. We saw what happened. By the way, Malcolm X's birthday is the primary day, May 19th.
Oh, wow. Well, hopefully it'll be a good birthday present.
Inshallah.
Yeah. So we were talking about finding common ground. It seems like a lot of the policies that you have embodied, a lot of policies that you've advanced, including restricting ICE all the way back in 2017 and calling for its abolition since then, is now being championed, or at least being channeled by even your opposition. Stanford specifically, I believe, is also calling for the abolition of ICE. Do you think that there is sincerity there? Do you think it's more so just like responding to what the overall interests are? And what's your plans to protect immigrants from being thrown into camps and deported to countries they've never been to? Do you support community members independently tracking ICE and engaging in like neighborhood watch and things like that?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh my goodness. And one of the issues I have with liberals is they're upset at what's happening with society and so forth. And they say, this is unprecedented. But that's deeply disrespectful to folks from communities of struggle like me. As an African American, when I was saying before about how my 16 great-great-grandparents were born into states where slavery was the state law, we had to organize ourselves in those moments to protect against deputized white men who would rip apart families after the 1850 fugitive slave law. So we didn't know who among our neighbors was there to stand up for us or there to strip us apart and then send us into slavery down south. And that's what's happening now, right? It's the same thing. It's an iteration of the same forms of systems of oppression. And we have to understand that this is rooted in the very fabric of our nation. So absolutely, we need to make sure that we are not held hostage to a group of lawless thugs in masks. They are terrorizing our communities, and they are destroying whatever like fibers are left of civil society. So yeah, we have to do all the things that are in our tradition to save ourselves, to protect ourselves. But with regard to the abolition of ICE, that's just the starting point. Like, getting rid of a negative is not a positive. We also have to dismantle the immigrant concentration camps. And people don't understand that they weren't always there. It's only been around for like 25 years.
Yeah.
And it was created, it was a false flag. It was created really just for profit maximization of corporations, because most of this is farmed out to major corporations who give to Republicans and Democrats
GEO
alike.
and other for-profit prison companies.
So we got to get rid of those, but we also have legislation already introduced by members of the Congressional Progressive Caucus that look at ways of creating an immigration system that is humane, efficient, and just, right? Like, there are ways we can do this, and that's one of the reasons I'm interested in going to Congress, because progressives already doing the work in Congress, they need reinforcements, right? So there are policies that can address this. It's one thing to stop a bad thing. It's another to build comprehensive substantive policy that keeps communities safe and allow immigrants to have wraparound services, housing, healthcare, et cetera, which is more affordable than putting them in cages, actually, and it's not profit driven either.
Better for a sense of community, better for the economy overall. If we were to, immigration at the end of the day is a problem with paperwork. That's what I like to call it. I say these are paperwork crimes. They're not real paperwork.
They're not criminal offenses.
They're not crimes at all. They're paperwork violations, and faster processing would be beneficial for every single person. And yet, keeping this two-tiered labor structure that exists is unbelievably beneficial for all of the wealthy people that own the agribusiness in the country, whether they're Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter. That's why Trump had to back away from doing the farm raids.
Yes, and I'm on the agriculture
raids.
Committee. Pennsylvania has a huge agricultural industry. And very few Democrats are talking about farm workers. They're talking about farmers as though farmers are working without farm workers. Right, and that's very disingenuous. 70% of farm workers in this state are immigrants.
And that's across the board, actually.
Of course,
I mean, it's like 60% nationally. So it's that's the reason why they had to back away. It was like it was a real convergence of like or divergence of racist values, like white supremacist, white nativist, anti-immigrant sentiment, meeting the capitalist bottom line, and all of a sudden capitalist bottom line won out in that conversation, and now you have some real racists who are mad. They're like, why are they not doing more deportations? It's like, well, the entire process was designed so that people would be kept in limbo, so that these companies could justify paying them pennies on the dollar and continue hyper exploitation that way. There are some other questions that I have as well about. I'm going to do a rapid fire round, and I'm going to do the Zoran method, as I like to call it. Like, what are your 5 top line policies? So think about that right now. But before we get to that, there was what else was I going to ask you? I had what were we just talking about? We're talking about immigration. There's this concept, I feel like, that rears its ugly head every time there's like signature legislation, rotating villains, right? We saw that with Goldman in the War Powers resolution that couldn't pass by 1 vote.
Right.
And I think he's retiring, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that's precisely the reason why they were able to find that 1 vote. I do think that internally there's a whipping process, or there's at least like a collaborative process from leadership of the party that finds those safe seats, oftentimes, where there's just enough Democrats that will vote alongside the Republicans to stop key pieces of legislation. We have the cinemas and the Joe Mansions, and they certainly exist in the House of Representatives as well. Do you feel like the reason why they're coming after people like yourself, coming after someone like myself as well, that offers a platform to candidates like yourself, because we're doing away with the rotating villain structure? And do you have an opinion on how to address the rotating villain system when you are in Congress?
Well, I'm unbought and unbossed. And that's a very dangerous position for someone like me, because there are not many of us who get elected and stay elected against a very powerful democratic machine where incumbency is the ideology. The ideology of any machine, whether it's Democratic or Republican, is incumbency, is concentration of power. So if you have folks who have independent thought, who are not compromised by moneyed interests and insiders, they can't know if their influence is going to work when they want it to work the most. And that's very scary to them because they're used to controlling people. And that's why I don't have any support from the political class.
Yeah.
That's why. It's not because I'm a dino. It's not like I'm voting with Republicans or I'm lazy or corrupt or stupid. None of those allegations have ever been made against me. The biggest critique I have is I won't work with them.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be complicit in an agenda that doesn't serve the people. If it's just about concentration of power, why are you Democrats? Like, what makes you any different than the folks you are claiming are evil or the problem with America? You're doing your own version of autocracy in the biggest city, in the most consequential swing state in the country.
Yeah.
And I can't be a part of that. And again, my allegiance is not to party, it's to people. And that also scares them. So I have legislation for open primaries. They're particularly with young people. If you're 35 and under, the chances of you being a Democrat or Republican are very low. Most folks are independents, but in Pennsylvania, you're not allowed to vote in the primary if you're an independent. But many young people do not want to affiliate with the Democratic Party, even though their values more align with them than Republicans, because they understand the Democratic Party takes them for granted, does not listen to their, like, we went through this with the uncommitted movement.
Yeah.
Right? They're like, Democrats, we will vote for your candidate if you show the spine to say this is a genocide. They said, we will vote. It's not about voting for Trump, but we're not going to give you our vote unless you fucking earn it. And Democrats said, fuck you.
They did, yeah. And that also creates a lot of apathy. So I think what a lot of people don't understand in the party system, in the National Party, in the DNC, is that candidates like yourself are breathing life back into that political movement and making people more politically active. But they're so invested in winning by their own design, or even losing by their own design, like Kamala did in 2024, that they don't mind if there's tremendous voter apathy, but then they'll turn around and say, oh, well, we don't know what happened. Why didn't you vote for us? Harm reduction voting. That's not how it works, right?
Right. And
people want to vote for something.
Right. And they're blaming. That's the piece that people still don't get even now in this moment. They do not believe that young people will show up. They believe that young people are apathetic or disinterested or uninformed. No, that's the absolute opposite. They care about folks who care about them. Why would you give up your political capital and for someone who doesn't respect you, who doesn't see you and embrace your values? That makes perfect sense to me.
So one last question before I get to the final round, because we have probably, do we have time still? Are we good?
You can do a couple more questions.
Okay, all right. Around 40% of all jobs in your district are susceptible to be displaced by AI. They can be automated away. How do you plan on ensuring the residents of Pennsylvania's 3rd District can continue putting food on the table if and when that happens? And do you support data centers being built in Philly?
Oh, hell no. That's an easy question. I believe we should have a national moratorium on the construction of data centers. Here's what people don't understand. And you kind of led into it when you started by saying there's 40% worker displacement in this congressional district. People don't understand, like, AI will continue to exist without new data centers. The reason they're expanding capacity is to find more ways to more quickly displace as many workers as humanly possible to maximize profit
without
for the people.
without the regulatory bodies catching up to it as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the goal of the data center construction is not to affirm AI. Like, a technology can be used for good or bad.
Yeah.
The example I give is the cotton gin. People say, oh, we need innovation, we need growth. Innovation and growth came through the adoption of the cotton gin, and so it created great wealth and great productivity, worker productivity. The problem was the workers were enslaved, and because of the adoption of the cotton gin, it meant that black people would now think that they would never be free, or their grandkids, because they were making their white owners so much money. So the fact that black folk freed themselves and we saved ourselves when no one thought it was possible is a tribute to organizing, right? And it goes to innovation. Innovation is only as good as what the value of it is. So if it's profit maximization, I don't care how innovative it is.
Yeah.
If it's towards justice, I'm down. So AI can be used for any purpose, but the reason we're expanding its capacity, and not we, Wall Street, corporations, is because they want to get rid of as many workers as possible to maximize the profit for the billionaire class.
Yeah.
And so that's why we should stop it. Even if that weren't the issue, we'd have environmental issues, right? The water supply, utility bills, other displacement.
Ethics as well, like where is AI being used, dangers of misinformation.
All of that.
All of that would be addressed, hopefully, after a moratorium, rather than going all in on AI in this way.
Oh, and what's also interesting about that? Some of the folks who were sounding the alarm, who were technologists, brilliant people, many of them were black women. And they were ousted by Google and Meta and so forth, and they were sounding the alarms and they were not being listened to. And so when we have to make sure that we listen to voices in communities of struggle who may not be centered in these conversations, but whose brilliance must be affirmed. And there are articles about these women who were talking about the ethics, who were talking about the inherent biases in AI and how it's going to hurt us if we don't do that due diligence.
Okay, last question before I get to the Zoran one. You've been outspoken about Obama's failures in handling the 2008 financial crisis. What do you believe Biden did wrong in his presidency to get us Trump 2?
Well, it's interesting. The things he got right, he didn't promote in ways that reached people and understood.
I agree.
Right?
Yes.
Like the things he actually did, like
the infrastructure bill, like it was watered down because of Joe Manchin and other spoilers, but like there was a lot of good in there with the IRA, and it's like, and they did nothing to promote it.
Yeah.
Even pulling out of Afghanistan, it was considered a critical. It was a critical moment,
right?
And everyone was panning him. It was people on the left that were like, no, this is good. Like he's doing the right thing.
Right. You have to listen. Sometimes you have to show versus tell. An example I give is we legalized medical cannabis in Pennsylvania in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I took office in 2017. And in 2018, we started having dispensaries pop up. And a lot of folks in the black community, particularly our elders, were like, no, this is bad. They're putting these bad businesses in black communities, because they're trying to punish us. And I was trying to say, no, these businesses are creating good local jobs. They're the safest businesses on corridors because they're required to have all of these cameras and such. Mm-hmm. And there is a lot of medicinal benefit from the cannabis that's regulated that can benefit particularly a lot of elders who suffer from all kinds of ailments. And it's so much better than the big pharma. And it was one thing to say that. It was another thing to actually take them to a dispensary, because when they heard dispensary, they heard drug
dealing.
They heard drug dealing. They heard crack house, because they didn't know what a dispensary was, because how would they know? So I picked up a bunch of little old ladies I drove to their house, I picked them up, and I drove them to the suburbs, and I took them to a dispensary. And it was like a beautiful, like luxury spa looking place. It was beautiful, people were nice, they were all well paid, and it was just laid out wonderfully. And they were like, oh, this is what a dispensary could look like in my neighborhood. And I said, don't you think we deserve businesses like this? They're gonna put another Rent-A-Center, and I put another Family Dollar, another fast food joint in our place, and then the businesses that are actually building community wealth and are safe and pay people well, that goes to the suburbs. And they changed their views because of the experience they had, showing them versus simply talking at them. And that's always a great way to engage people.
Yeah. All right, now to the Zoran question. What?
Do you want to do that? Like, can we go and do that on the ride to the other place, or you want to do it now?
Oh wait, are we
at the
going
spot.
Inside right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Let's
So
just
these
go
are,
inside.
real quick context. These are the students, young professionals. A lot of them unregistered voters or apathetic to the system. So they're all out here. So definitely hit like May 4th deadline for voter registration.
Okay.
And yeah, anything else to motivate.
Okay. Are we giving speeches again?
RAAB has, so you don't.
Okay. I can do it. It's fine.
Yeah. All right. Hell yeah.
Everybody here wants
Yeah.
It's much more intimate here.
Yeah. All right.
All right. But how you feeling? Good?
Yeah, good. Yeah, just keep me on time. I'm good.
Need some water? I have the bottles for you.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. How you doing?
You know where we're going?
Let's stay dry. Yeah, right.
The other guys have my backpack.
Your bag is in the truck. Right there.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Where are they at?
Just in the traffic. Wow, look at that light. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, see your mic's on you now?
Sure. All right.
Hey. What's that?
I need the backpack because they in charge.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Do you have it?
No, they have it. Can you guys grab the backpack from the car? It's in our car?
It's in one of the cars.
Feel good? Feel good?
Hell yeah.
We need to get into your car, get your team's car again to grab a backpack.
Omar may have
Oh, they can grab it? Oh, he's in the car? Okay, good. All right.
What's up, people? You saying? Go ahead. All right, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, little man?
How's everything going?
Good.
Love you. Thank you so much for what you do.
What's up, my man? What's up? Huh?
Right here is fine. Right here is fine. Right here.
Yes? Okay. Damn, this is amazing. Wow. Hey, folks. How you feeling? I'm Chris RAAB, and I'm running for Congress. And this is Hasan Piker. This is amazing. I'm told that right back at you. He's vibing. I'm loving it. I understand some of you are fairly young. Is that accurate? Some of you are maybe newly registered voters. Some? Soon? Raise your hand if you're about to register to vote. Raise them a little higher. Let's show some love for them. I want to address those of you who are about to register to vote. I've been voting a long time. Gosh, almost 40 years. I don't need you to pledge allegiance to a party. I want you to hear me when I say that. This is not about you becoming a Democrat or a Republican. This is about using the systems that allow you to express your voice and your values when it matters most. Because when you vote, you will determine the trajectory of this city, this state, and this country. And young people will determine who wins on May 19th. That is my prediction. And I want you to understand, I identify as a Democratic Socialist, but I'm running as a Democrat because the system creates this narrowness. But there's a bunch of Democrats running, and we are not all the same. We are very different. We may share this label in this moment, in this system, but we are very different. So if you choose to register as a Democrat, you are not pledging allegiance to that party. You are using your power in that moment to vote for the person who you believe reflects your interests, and the interests of the communities that you hold most dear, some of whose members cannot vote because they may be too young, or they may not be citizens, or they may be incarcerated. There are a number of people who will not vote for any number of reasons. So when you're voting for them as well. And many of those folks who you may be voting for are being erased by Democrats and Republicans alike. But if you vote for me, I see you. I see you, and I love you. I am running based on radiant love. I want to expand and diffuse it so everyone feels seen and respected. We're not all going to agree on everything. That's okay. Who has family members that they disagree with things on? All of us. That's okay. But if you believe in justice, you believe in care and empathy and compassion, you have one choice to make. And that choice will resonate, not just in this election, but for a very long time, and you will see yourself in that power. And so, for those of you who care about justice overseas, if you understand that there's a genocide, and you believe that this country is complicit in that, and you don't want your tax dollars funding inhumanity, then you have only one choice to make, and you're looking at them. If you believe that you shouldn't work for 40 hours a week and still be in poverty, you got one choice to make. You're looking at them. If you believe in universal health care, Medicare for all, and stop playing around the edges and believe and invest in bold policies that can be initiated in the near term, you're looking at the person who will represent you. You have a voice. I seek to amplify your voice in the halls of power, and the reason you should feel confident that I will be accountable to you is because my campaign is funded by you. There are people in this room who are underemployed, underpaid, unemployed, who've given me $1, literally, or $5, or $10. Do you know how meaningful that is? That I have the affirmation of people who are struggling and have chosen to give me anything because they want to feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves, bigger than me, bigger than this congressional district, bigger than the city of Philadelphia, and that we are on the right side of history, that in this moment, we are part of a movement that will transform society as we know it. And the reason I have so much confidence in this is because I've never seen anything like this before. This is all you know as young people. But I've been around the block a few times. I have never, ever, ever seen this level of aggressive fabulosity in my life coming from young people. This is your moment. This is our moment. What we make of it is whatever we want to. But let's do it in love and care and humanity and creativity and resistance. And feel the joy in that solidarity, knowing that you are standing up for your neighbors. I am in common cause with Palestinians. I am in common cause with Minnesotans. I'm in common cause with so many people who come from communities of struggle who have been erased and marginalized. I see you because I'm one of you. I descend from people who are not supposed to own their own labor. All of my grandparents were property of other human beings. I am the example, I am the wildest dreams of my ancestors. What we do in this moment will change everything. And you all chose to be with me in this moment. What we do with it is entirely up to us. But we have to show up. We have to vote. And when you register and you want to vote for me, and you register as a Democrat, I don't care if you change your party affiliation right after the election. I am not trying to get you to be a Democrat. I'm trying to get you to be a voter so that your voice will resonate in the halls of power and beyond. So I thank all of you so much for showing up, for being a part of something bigger than yourselves, and giving me your consideration, your labor, your love to help this transformation begin and extend and radiate across this nation. Thank you. I've never seen anything like this.
So
this is nuts.
Real quick, because I know everybody's waiting for Hasan, so I got your attention. Laundry list. May 4th is the last day to register to vote. So if y'all aren't registered, we got a few days left.
What day was that? What day?
May 4th.
What day?
May 4th.
Right.
Or if you are registered and you have family members and friends who aren't registered, help them get registered. Also, as y'all know, APAC and the corporate PAC money is coming into the district. And we don't have the money to compete with them, so you're not going to see us on TV. You're not going to see us on these ads. What works is door-to-door knocking. That's how we get the message out there. 30% of registered voters in Philadelphia are undecided. So we got to get this message to them because they're receptive to the message. So if you can please sign up. This Saturday we have a canvas, Summer Lee, Congresswoman Summer Lee is coming. Please come through. And any canvas that you can join from now till May 19th, that's how we're going to win this race. People-powered campaign, organized people, trying to be organized money. Without further ado, Hasan.
Woohoo!
All right, is everyone having a great time today? I wasn't used to the rain. I didn't realize it was going to rain when I came out here. I'm going to melt in the... I'm not only used to the California sun, but very excited to be here with Chris and all of you guys. Thank you so much for coming out. Give yourself a round of applause for being here. I assume many of you went out there and protested if you're students over the last 2.5 years as Israel was committing a genocide with our tax dollars, as the Democratic Party looked on and decided not to listen to your voices and your just demands, right? Shame on them. That creates a lot of apathy. It creates a lot of apathy when you go out and you door knock for Bernie Sanders and the party does everything they can to make sure he doesn't actually win the candidacy for the Democrats. It creates a lot of apathy when you do the uncommitted movement, when you say, look, we got one voice. There's an election cycle going on. You have to listen to our demands. We will not vote for you if you continue committing a genocide. And the party says, no, we will win or lose, but we will win with our own design. And then they end up losing, and things get much worse. Donald Trump becomes president. A lot of people in my community have also had apathy. However, with people like Chris, with the other candidates that I'm promoting, with the other candidates that I go out and talk to, I see a lot of hope. The reason why I see a lot of hope is because I think a lot of you also understand that candidates like Chris represent something different. We all know the Republicans suck. We all know they're racist, they're monsters, they love the Epstein class, they love waging war, they love corporations. But the Democrats, some of them also love the very same things. They don't love you. They don't care about you. They don't care about your interests. And that's precisely the reason why letting your voice be heard in the primary system is almost as important, if not more important, because the Democratic Party's primary is what determines the trajectory of the Democratic Party. If you're angry because there's people like Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema, people like John Fetterman.
Don't say the F word.
Not a lot of Fetterman fans in here. Well, he's no fan of mine either. He's always on Fox News yapping. But if you're mad that there are politicians like this that constantly ruin whatever kind of agenda that even the Democrats claim they care about, if you're mad about the fact that there are rotating villains in the party, where they always find just the right amount of votes to make sure that we can't put a check on Donald Trump's aggressive warmongering, where if you're mad that there's never enough money for health care in this country, but unlimited funds to bomb other countries, well, you have an opportunity to make that change. You have an opportunity to let your voice be heard. For far too long, people have been told, myself included, that we have to vote for harm reduction. We have to vote because we have to vote against the Republican Party. We all know the Republican Party is bad. But you now have an opportunity to vote for something. And not just Chris, but you have an opportunity to vote for Medicare for all, knowing full well that he's going to fight that battle for you. You have an opportunity to vote for a jobs guarantee, endless militarism, ending the endless militarism, to make sure that every single dollar that we spend on new ways to murder children overseas can be spent here taking care of our children, taking care of your family members, to make sure that instead of spending all that money blowing up schools overseas, we spend that money on building schools right here. And this is a universal value that many of you share, and that's precisely the reason why the vote that you cast is not just for Philadelphia, it's not just for Pennsylvania, it's not just for even places like myself in Los Angeles, California, it's for people overseas as well. It's for everybody else. So, I'm very happy and very honored to endorse Chris and be here with him and get to see all of you. And I'm very excited to see what we can do with a more responsive politics in this country. Thank you. Good?
Yeah, let's take a picture.
All right, let's do it.
Can we turn around and get a picture real quick?
All right.
Everybody wants to.
I shaved my head for her.
Yeah, after this we're going to peel out. We're going to go back. Damn, you're getting good at this shit. That's what Chad said.
Are we firefighting? I will get a lot of fire. I'll send you the flyer.
Let's do it.
Everyone get in.
What new speaker, by the way?
Oh, hey.
Ready?
Everybody say May 4th.
May 4th! That's registration.
That's registration. What day is voting?
May 19th.
Last day for mail-in ballots?
May 12th.
May 12th.
That's a quiz.
All right, one more time. May 4th.
May 4th.
May 12th is mail-in ballots. May 19th is voting in person. All right? Is everyone registered to volunteer?
Yes.
If you are not registered to volunteer, please see me at the front of the table.
All right.
Also, is there no caffeine in the identity? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right.
Can we get a R?
Oh, which one is it?
This one, but it has another backside to it.
Nice to meet you.
Muhammad Sharif.
Nice to meet you.
Muhammad Sharif.
Magnet?
Yeah, I'll grab it.
Thank you so much.
March, do you have the bag? I'll grab it.
Hey, a quick photo with you?
Sure.
If you don't mind, thank you
Real
so
quick.
much. Real fast, real
Snap
fast.
it real quick.
Real fast.
Chat, I wish you could understand how crowded it is in here. I'm moving with 1 inch of space in every direction. That's why the cam's a little shaky. Oh no, people are closing in.
I got one. I got a. Yeah, sure.
Just real quick before we go, you want to be on?
Sure. How long is the photo line?
Real quick.
Okay, now we can't do a photo line with everybody. We gotta pay.
5% left in the
Yeah, we gotta go. Because our battery's about to die. Yeah, here's
Chris, I think we're feeling out.
I'm gonna take care of some stuff.
All right, people.
We have our own car.
Thank you.
But we gotta get stuff out of the other car. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Wait, we have to get stuff out of the other car as well.
What's your plan?
We're gonna go back to the hotel. Yeah.
All right, cool. You done with like the interview part?
Yeah, it's fine. We did. We did
live camera.
Yeah, you don't have to leave on our record. You guys got a bunch of other stuff.
We're gonna go to
Nicky
Nixie Lopez now.
Okay.
So let them get their stuff from the car. We can even if you want to talk to some students real quick before we go.
Yeah.
And then we go to Nicky Lopez.
All right.
Good?
Perfect.
Yeah. This was great. This was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Are you kidding me?
Thank you so much for everything.
Y'all always
It was
welcome to
incredible.
Philly, man.
Yeah.
Come back, man.
You want to give a quick shout out to the camera? Tell them what you want to say. You know, May 4th, all the dates and how people can find you.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
I'm
they were
honored.
digging it.
Chris RAAB here. Look, if you are in the 3rd Congressional District, I would love your vote and your support. It's May 19th, May 4th, to make sure that you either register or you register as a Democrat so you can vote for me. You don't have to love the Democratic Party to vote for me. I do not care because I'm not here for the party. I'm here for the people. I also appreciate if you check me out at chrisraab.com. You can volunteer even as far away as LA. You can volunteer remotely, and you can also give, because I do not take a dime of corporate PAC money. I don't take money from APAC affiliates, subordinates, subsidiaries, allies. I take money from the people and I use it to invest in the folks who are closest to the pain and are part of the movement. So please, chrisraab.com. That's RABB, that's short for rabble rouser.
I love that. All right,
Right,
thank
there
you.
you go.
There you go.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
So nice meeting you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Shall we?
All right, we're gonna.
Sorry, I got your microphone.
Oh yeah. Wait, I'm gonna take my mic off. Hold on.